Heyo guys, Fat Lizard Boy here, back at it again with the what ifs. So, for all those of you who are currently wondering, I am, for like the one guy who actually cared to respond to my video, I am still making my Warframe what if. I didn't just shelve it immediately. I'm going to be making it. But I discovered this old what if I was going to make a while ago. Like, I'm talking a long time ago. Like, I was going to make this one after my Sans what if. But, shit didn't happen. I think the reason why was because I didn't know where to take the story. But I think I have figured out a good enough plot to go on. So, we're going to start with Deku's ancestor or father. We're going to just call him his father. His father was born... Well, his father was one of the first humans ever. And he was the first human to have a quirk. His quirk was, whenever he died, he would come back as one of his descendants. Whether that mean he would come back as his kid, as like his son, his daughter, his niece, his nephew, his grandkids, and so on and so forth, he would. So he's been living for thousands of years. Around the time of 1858, he had become one of the most famous outlaws in America, out in the West. He was shot dead 2 weeks before his son was born. Now, when Izuku is born, his father noticed something that's never happened. He is not in control. He is not this person. He is merely just a conscious bystander inside this person's body. He has no clue why. Now, the reason as to why is because Deku's mother at this point has a quirk. She's one of the first people to have a quirk. I'm going to say she's one of the first 18 people to ever have quirks. Now, none of these quirks are documented because they're nothing flashy like the ability to control fire. So they don't think of them as quirks, even though they are. So Izuku is one of the first people to have... So Izuku's father is the first person to ever have a quirk. Izuku's mother is one of the first 18 people. And her quirk is quick draw. Basically, it allows her to draw a pistol or any sort of weapon from a holster position and aim it or whatever she needs to do with it super fast. She's not the fastest in the world by any means, but she is faster than most people with it. Anyways, we're going to go ahead and skip to when Deku is 10, which would mean it's now 1868. I think so. Anyways, Deku has a lever action BB gun. Now, where he got this, I'm not going to say. If they didn't have them around that time, fuck you. In this timeline, they did. Even though I'm pretty sure they did in the real world, they did have them around that time. If they didn't, fuck you, they do in my world. And he's practicing his aim on bottles. Because, well... because he can draw any weapon super fast, that does not account for his aim. So if he were to have a revolver with a good holster that did not catch, and like a good revolver that wouldn't fucking catch on anything, he would be able to draw his revolver at his current stage in his life within 3/4 of a second. That's not the fastest. The fastest in the world is 2/100ths of a second. It's fucking fast. But Deku is out shooting these bottles with a BB gun, line him up, practicing his aim, because his father's telling him to. When a wagon rolls into town with a whole bunch of boxes and crates of food and stuff rolls in to give to the general store. Also, by the way, I should say that Deku does not live in a good town. Like, the law does not come there because it's too far out. So, it's mainly just vigilante justice there. Even though that's barely anything. They don't nobody is a vigilante there because it's mainly just gangs and outlaws and murderers and thieves who who roll through there. But a great place to raise your kids. Anyways, Zuko's watching this leave the town. This frickin' wagon leave the town. That's whenever it hits a bump on the road, and a crate falls off the back. Oh, how goodies! So Zuko is like, I'm gonna go take a look at this, because his father says, yes, you should. So Zuko walks over there to the crate, and when he looks around, nobody's giving him any mind. He opens it up. What does he see? A Colt Army Model 1860 revolver with no stamps, none of that stuff on it. Completely untraceable. Nothing like that. You can't even tell that it was someone that, like, God damn. Like, there was nothing to identify when it was made, where it was made, or anything like that. Untraceable. And it came with the caps or whatever you needed, the fucking 44.44 balls or whatever, and the black powder that you needed to load and shoot the damn thing. So Zuko, and it also came with the holster. So Zuko shut the crate, brought it back up into a barn, and pulled out the revolver and looked at it. Now, his father was getting super excited about this. His father is in his head right now, by the way. And is currently loving the look of this gun. So he urges Deku to put on the holster. So Deku does, and he puts the holster on with the revolver. And it unloaded, mind you. It is unloaded. And so Deku cocks the hammer back, right? And he puts his hand above it like in all the quick draws. Even though I don't think those were actually real. I think those are just made by in the movies. Anyways, he draws it and quickly fires it, like I said, within 3/4 of a second. And his father, Zuko was aiming at a bottle on a post that was left there by whoever was last in the barn. Father said, you would have missed that. And Zuko goes, how do you know that? And his father goes, I just have a knack for this kind of thing. You definitely would have missed that bottle if there was actual bullets in that gun. And Zuko goes, whatever. So the next day, there's an old freaking abandoned barn that's a good bit of a walk away from the town. So he tells all his 3 friends to grab as many bottles that they can find and bring it there, so they all do. And Zuko carries the crate with the holster on his belt, So they ask him, so, what is it, Zuko? It's not his name, though. Fucking, I don't know what name to give him, but they say, so what is it you want, Deku? Deku goes, here, I want to show you this. And he opens up the crate. They see the revolver, and their eyes just light up wide. Zuko picks it up and loads it properly, fucking black powder on the caps and all that shit. He says, now, why don't you go put a bottle on that post over there? It's about, good. I don't know how far away it is, but it's pretty close. So they go, okay, Zuko, shoot it. And so Zuko cocks the hammer back and brings his hand down to above it. And as he draws it, pulls it out, and fires it within 3/4 of a second. Misses a bottle. So he goes, damn it. Puts it back in his holster, not cocking it this time. Puts his hand down, he's wearing a glove on his left hand. Pulls it out, cocks it back, and fires it within just over 3/4 of a second. Just over. And this time he nails the bottle. All his friends are excited. Because, they just saw their best friend shoot just like that. Like one of them old cowboys. One of the cowboys they all hear about. Anyways, all of his friends shoot about 2 cylinders worth. Because I don't remember if the gun holds 6 shots or 9. Because I'm a fucking idiot. Anyways, after they get done with that, Deku puts the gun back in the holster. and puts that back in the crate, and then takes it to his house, where he then lifts up one of the floorboards underneath his bed and slides the crate underneath, puts it down and everything. We're going to go ahead and skip to when Deku is 16. That would mean the year is now 1874, I think? Yeah, 1874, which means the Colt Army, Colt Single Action Army, whatever the frick it's called, has now been invented. But Deku does not have that. Well, when we see Deku, he is out at that old barn that he was shooting bottles at with a revolver when he was 10. This time, he's shooting them when he's 16. And you might be wondering, oh, well, how did Deku get ammunition and keep all the black powder and shit like that up for it? And it's like, outlaws running through the town all the goddamn time. They'd gladly give a kid some bullets if he gave him some cigarettes. And hey, well, what would his mom mind if she lost like a pack of cigarettes? Deku does not smoke because he just doesn't want to. Even though there's no real reason not to at that point, he just doesn't. That's how he's been keeping up with the fucking black powder and shit. By giving outlaws cigarettes or letting them get free drinks by shit like that. So Deku has the revolver loaded in his holster. And at this point, he does not take the entire crate down to the barn anymore. He just loads up the revolver, puts it in his holster, on his belt, and walks down to the barn. And so he pulls into this ball, and he's got his hand up there like they all show in the old cowboy movies. And before he could draw, here's a BAM! Gunshot from the town, right? And he starts walking back thinking, oh, it's probably just some drunken idiot celebrating shooting the gun off in the air. Or another gang of outlaws riding through. So he walks up there and he looks around the corner, and not the case. Because there's currently a man dead in the middle of the street. With a drunk man standing over him. Holding a revolver. I don't know what type of revolver it is. Shut up. But he's holding a revolver. And he has a black duster and a black cowboy hat on, right? And he's shouting off about shit like that. Shouting off, saying, oh, talking about fucking saying that they're trying to rob him and shit. So Deku is just trying to make it back to his house whenever he points his revolver at one of the girls in town, around his age. Starts shouting at her. And looking like he's about to shoot her. That's what Deku just decides based on instinct that he's going to do it, and his father encourages him not to because, well, his father thinks that if Deku were to die here, that they would both die alongside him. But Deku's willing to take that risk. So he walks up there and he shouts at the drunken man, hey! And the man turns around, aims his revolver at Deku and goes, oh, what the fuck do you want, kid? Deku goes, knock it off. And fucking the drunk guy goes, oh, what are you gonna do, you little brat? And he puts his gun down to his side. That's when Deku and he starts pointing the gun at the girl again. Says, you know what, just for that, I'm gonna, and that's when Deku draws his revolver and shoots him right in the chest. Bang! Man didn't know what happened. The man didn't even know what happened. He just kind of put his revolver, he kind of just dropped the revolver and started touching the hole on his chest, and he goes, you shot me. Goddamn kid shot me. He starts to tumble back and he falls on the ground. And that's when he picks up his revolver and he goes to aim it at Deku, and Deku, BAM! Fires off another shot. The last one put him down. Deku blows the smoke out of the barrel and puts it back in the holster. And he walks up to this young woman, this fine young lady, and asks her for her name and if she's alright. And she thanks him with great kindness. Greatly thanks him. And Deku basically says, no problem. That's when his mom comes out and goes, Ezekiel, what the fuck? She doesn't say that, but she basically just asks him, where did he get a revolver? He just shot a man dead. He saved a woman, congratulations. He's a hero. He shot a man. How'd you get a revolver? Shit like that. Where'd you learn to aim? And she asks him all these questions and says, young man, get your behind in this house right now. She drags him off. While she's scolding him, she's also praising him, so Deku does not know how the fuck to feel about this whole situation. He doesn't know he should be proud, happy, sad, embarrassed, disappointed. He doesn't know how to feel at this point. His mother says that she's going to take the gun away because her son does not need to have a gun. And they just pointed out that he saved a girl's life today, and she goes, yeah, well, you shouldn't need to do that. And so Deku makes an argument that if he can prove to her that he's that he's capable of owning this revolver, that his mother should let him keep it. And so she doesn't think he'll be able to, but she goes, alright, fine then. And so she says that you can't miss a single shot. And you gotta teach me, proper trigger discipline and gun safety and shit like that. Deku passes this flawlessly. His mother begrudgingly allows him to keep the handgun. And so, that's how this starts off. I'm gonna leave it here. If you got any complaints, fuck you. Bye.